Hey girlies, welcome back to my channel, and if you read from the title, we are doing a glueless 2x6 closure quick weave. I did 5 or 6 big braids and I made sure I kept it flat towards the top, and I'm adding black wrap strips to keep the glue completely off of my hair. This is actually my first time doing this. I usually do spritz, which also keeps the glue off of my hair, but this time I decided to do the wrap strips. I tied the wrap strips all over to make sure none of my hair was showing. I started to look real crazy, and I don't know why I tied that strip that tight under my chin like that, because I definitely had to loosen it up. But yeah, you're gonna look a little crazy for a minute. But as you can see, I added 2 caps, a brown one and a black one, and I'm taking a mental note here of the size of my closure, just so I can see where I'm going to sew around that area and also around the perimeter of my cap. So I sewed a U shape around where the closure will be, and now I'm going around the perimeter all the way till I reach back around to where I started sewing. So as I started to cut off the excess cap and strips, I realized I kind of messed up. I did not need to put any of the wrap strips under the area where the closure will be. So keep that in mind to kind of leave that space open. Just tie the strips around everywhere else, because I feel like I did not need to have that paper up under my cap. So after cutting everything off, I'm just going to lift up that cap a little bit and cut off some of that paper, because that's where the closure will lay, so you only really want that brown cap to be there. This is the hair we'll be using. It is from Rare Strands. It will be linked below. If you haven't shopped Rare Strands, sis, you are missing out. And if you want to know how I did this color, stay tuned. But when I'm doing my closure installs, I like to prep it off of my head, so it's not so much work I have to do while it's on my head. So I went ahead and parted it out, got the part nice and how I want it. I plucked it a little bit, I plucked the hairline, and this is pretty much what it's given. And as I put it on, you see it's already set and ready to go. Next, I'm going to take my Ebin hairspray, and I did 2 layers, and I blow dried it until it was tacky, and then I applied the lace. I took my time and positioned it exactly how I wanted it before pressing it into the hairspray. And once I had it pressed in, I noticed that I forgot to cut off my little strip on the side of the closure. This would have been better to do before, but go ahead and cut that off. As you can see, prepping the lace before you put it on your head, it just makes it so much easier, and you can see exactly how it's gonna lay. Once I got my lace laid down, I tied it down with an elastic band and sewed down the remaining of the closure. Now that the lace is all laid down and braided up out the way, we're going to get started on our track placement. When I do my hair colors, I do each bundle differently. So as far as placing the tracks, I kind of went back and forth between the different style of bundles, just so that my color can be very dimensioned and very unique. As far as the track placement, because this is a 2x6 closure, there's not a lot of movement you can get out of this. It's not very versatile. So on my main side, I made sure to not curve my tracks all the way up, because I didn't want this to be in my face too much. Here you can see what I mean by not curving the tracks. I'm just doing them straight. Alright, so now we're getting to the top and we're closing it up with our last final track. Now we can see the different dimensions and the different placement of the colors. I'm gonna get it all brushed out, get these braids taken down, and now we can start having some fun with this install. After taking off the band, I'm just cleaning up any residue with some alcohol, and we're going to get this lace cut off. I'm going to use a razor so that it gives me that nice blend into the skin. Then we're going to put a little spritz on it and tie it back down while we do our styling. Y'all, I am so in love with this color. It came out so good, and on my skin I was a little bit nervous, but I love it. I took some Lotta Body foam mousse and applied it to the closure so that we can get it nice and molded and blow dry the rest of the hair to prepare it for curling. Well, layering, then curling. Now for the cut, we're going to start off by doing our framing layers around our face. And when you do this, you want to chop the hair. What I mean by that, it ain't called chop layers for no reason. Usually I glide my scissors down when I'm doing my layers, but for this style, I literally cut, like open and closed on that hair, chopped it. You want to chop in a diagonal going down. And I really hope that's making sense. I don't know if it's just me, but when I do my regular layers, my scissors never fully close, if that makes sense. Like, I kind of barely close it to where the blades are like cutting in a diagonal real lightly. But this particular style, I literally open and close my shears, like chop, chop, chop. After doing the framing layers, we're going to get started on the rest of the cut. And we're going to take vertical sections all around our head, doing the same thing that I'm about to show you. So the bottom hair is going to be our guide. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. Because we are bringing each section all the way up to the top, the hair at the bottom is going to be the shortest because it has the furthest to travel up. So that is going to be our guide on where we're going to cut the rest of the hair. I'm going to give you a better view of that in just a second. Here we go. So we're combing up all the way to the top. There's our guide. I'm going to flip it over just because it's easier for me to cut it myself that way. But you're still going to see that guide right there. And we're going to cut everything else to that length. And we're going to do that all over our head. There's the guide. And we're going to cut everything to that length. Don't be scared thinking you cutting off too much. Trust me, you're going to be good. Cut everything to that length. Now, do you see that? Like when a cut looks good before you curl it, you know you did that. I know I've already curled one side, but I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. But I want to show you the bang because it's the only curl that is different in this hairstyle. So the bang area, that one piece, you want to curl it backwards. Everything else is curled up, flipped up. Okay, so this is how I curled every other curl on my head besides the bang piece. You want to take your section and spray it with Sebastian Shaper Plus. And you want to take your curling iron with the barrel clip underneath, and you're curling everything flipped up. If you have trouble curling, I find that holding on to the end piece of the hair that you're curling allows you to have better control over the hair as you're curling. We're going to hit those curls with a little bit more Sebastian Shaper Plus just to seal it all in and let our curls cool down. While our curls are cooling, we're going to go ahead and take off our wrap strip. We're nice and melted, and we're going to clean up our part with a little bit of eyeshadow and hair and color spray. And now it's time to take out those curls. They're nice and marinated and just juicy. All right, so now we're getting into the key factor tip for this install. And for the people that might have already left thinking that it's done, they finna miss the most crucial tip. So this is just with our initial layer cut that we did. This is beautiful. This style is beautiful here. We could rock it just like this and it could be bomb. Look at this. But we're going for that chopped Detroit cash doll layer vibe. You're going to have to cut your hair again after curling. And the best way for me to describe this is like you're cutting off the ends of the curl to where it's flipping. That's the only way I can really say it to where it makes sense. As you can see, it's already starting to have that flip layered effect. After all the combing and cutting, you might have to refresh a couple of curls. I only had to do this left side probably because it's the section that I curled last, so it didn't sit as long. But just touch up any curls that you need to, and then we'll get to combing it out and getting to the final touches. One thing for sure, between that man and them kids, somebody gonna come in while I'm recording. But I appreciate it all. And as you can see, I'm still cutting, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get it just right. Alright, so we are on the home stretch. I'm just combing it, getting it into place, getting excited because it's coming together. I'm just manipulating the curls, getting them to do what I want them to do. I did notice that it was like one more little piece that I needed to cut, and then we were there. It is giving everything it needs to give. I'm going to fluff out the layers so that they pop a little bit more, add a little hairspray, and that's pretty much going to be the final look. This style came out so beautiful. And let's not forget to mention that this is a 2x6 closure, and it's still giving. I can still put it behind my ear. This is it. Let me know how you guys like this video. Comment, give me your feedback. Like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.